I'm Max Sterling, welcome to LarpMix. It's been a while since I've reviewed anything from Armoury, but they've recently sent me something to share with you, and I think you're going to agree it was well worth the wait. This sword comes from their new Stronghold lineup, and it's called the Dreki, which means dragon. And it is a Viking style sword, and they've made some changes in their construction process which makes this new lineup awesome. And I think you're going to agree that some of the things they're doing are game changing. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now, the first thing I can tell you is that this blade comes in two different sizes and two different styles. So this is the longer version of it, but it also comes in a shorter version. So the longer version is 102 centimeters or about 40 inches. The shorter one is 82 centimeters or about 32 inches. And the longer one weighs 440 grams and the shorter one weighs 350 grams. And it also comes in a steel color and a gold color. So this is the steel version, but you can also get it where this is in gold as well. Now for the shorter version, this one has this fake leather wrapping on it, and the only difference between the longer version and the shorter version is that this is not here. So the blade just connects directly to the hilt, and this 20 centimeter spacer here is not there. So that's the only real difference between the two, other than length and weight, obviously. So these new Stronghold swords, that's great, but what makes them fantastic is that they're using a fully cast foam now, so that they can get better detail out of it, and it's polyurethane foam. But take a look at this detail before we discuss that any further. You can see here the crossguard has this sort of elaborate serpent-like embellishment on it. Same way with the pommel. And the handle here is painted to look like a realistic sort of hardwood. And of course you have this fake leather on here as well for that 20 centimeter extension like I was telling you about. So looks great because it's fully cast, but what that means also is that since they're using the polyurethane foam, this is all latex free now, and that means it's also maintenance free, which is a huge change for Armoury, because their older style swords and their hybrid swords, you had to spray with maintenance spray. You don't have to do that on these ones, which for them I think is a huge improvement. It wasn't that big of a hassle to spray those, but that means that these will last a lot longer, and you shouldn't have to do, even after years of using it, as long as you treat it right, you shouldn't have to do too much to upkeep these. So a few other things to discuss that are really important is that they've changed from a circular fiberglass core to an oval shaped one. I don't know if you could tell when I was holding this up earlier, but instead of this being rounded, now it's an oval. And I'll tell you what, when you hold it, it makes a huge world of difference. It is so much more comfortable to hold because it's flat against the inside of your palm and against your fingers, as opposed to being sort of like a rounded grip. It's flat. You can grip it a lot stronger. And because of the way it's made now, it's not nearly as slippery when we had that silicone on the handle there. So this is a lot easier to hold on to, and it just fits in your hand a lot better. So I really appreciate the way they did that, and I hope that they adopt that for all of their blades, because this oval, huge difference in the way it feels and handles. Now, their blades have always been light, but they've decided to also counterweight or counterbalance the handles as well. So now these swords, even though they're very light, they also move very well, and you can just rock them back and forth in your hand. It's really, unless you hold one, it's hard to explain, but they just feel phenomenal when you're swinging them. I mean, it feels very comfortable, like a natural extension, because of the lightweightedness of it. Very easy to maneuver. I can see these quickly becoming my new favorite swords whenever combat is involved, or at least very fast or heated combat is involved. Now, these particular blades are available after March 27th of this month, and I know that most people's LARP seasons have probably been pushed back a little bit, so that'll still give you plenty of time to pick one of these up. And if you play any sort of Viking inspired character, this is definitely the sword to be looking for. And like I said, I can't say enough great things about this new Stronghold lineup. I mean, even the detail just on the blade there, you can see this new process they're using. Instead of having just that sort of sparkly sort of shine to it, you know, it's starting to look a lot more realistic. And without that maintenance spray on there, it's not slippery, so it's not going to get all over your clothing or costume. And you can see how soft the foam is here. So it's not like a lot of the competitors where it's a lot more stiff. This is still very soft. And I can't think of any reason why any game would fail something like this. This is just, in my opinion, for most games, this is probably, you know, the epitome of LARP weaponry. This is probably, at this moment, about as good as it gets. If you're looking for something that is lightweight, feels great, looks good, and will pass at a LARP, and you're comfortable doing combat with, this is probably the lineup of sorts to look into. Especially, like I said, if you're a Viking style character. So please consider checking them out, and we'll include a link down in the description to the site. Like I said, you can order this after March 27th, so basically the end of the week. And you know, if you like this video, please click like, subscribe to my channel. Be sure to check out all the other reviews that I do on Epic Armoury and all of their blades that they sell. Definitely give this thing a look. And of course, as always, adventure on.